Hi, it's Bernard. Just finished the WOWFit Warrior training session. Pretty spent. Just today, I actually did a live, so I showed 5 circuits, and my Instagram is the same as my YouTube, Bernard WOWFits. So today, I'll just talk a little bit like in my anecdotal experience with like healthcare and how I came this journey, and because the WOWFit, it's body, psyche, social, so it's I think it's all health. Like I don't separate physical health from mental health from spiritual health. I really think it's all health. So what I want to talk about is really like my experience, and why I got healthy. But just the one thing, like I got healthy just to be healthier, and because I wasn't feeling well. And one thing I want to talk about is definitely how I in my I guess mid 20s, yeah, or no, not mid, yeah, maybe late 20s and early 30s. I was on prescription meds for my health. I was on blood pressure medicine, and that shit was nuts. Like my doctor really didn't talk to me about nutrition. My doctor didn't talk to me about, exercise, anything like that. He just said, "I'm gonna have to put you on blood pressure medicine because your blood pressure's high," and just wrote me a pill. It was the lowest dose. I think it was like Lisinopril or something. But that whole experience of like going to the doctor and not talking about my nutrition or anything like that, just getting a pill. And I was told, lose weight, that's it, lose weight, and but no other information other than that. And that was my experience, with my physician. And then I switched physicians, later, and it was the same thing. um, and just lose weight, keep you on blood pressure. But the one thing which I did as I started doing research about health, I started doing research about everything, and that and I realized that I do needed to decrease my body fat, which I did. At least 100 pounds. My biggest pant size was 56. Now we're 40, and I do squeeze into a 38 if I have to, but it's not comfortable, and I'm still doing that. And what I learned was that nutrition is complicated as far as like the status quo goes, but it's not really that complicated. And as far as like my anecdotal evidence, so this isn't like empirical, I didn't do studies or anything, but the biggest thing that I did as far as like my nutrition goes is I stopped eating food with nutrition labels. That's really the biggest thing. Like stop eating food with nutrition labels. So if when it has a box and it has a nutrition label, I already know it's a red flag. Nutrition labels are red flags for me when it comes to food. And I shop the produce and perimeter. So, when I walk into the supermarket, produce is like the first thing in every supermarket. So first thing I see, I pick up all my produce. Then I go to perimeter. I pick up my meats, poultry, seafood, whatever. I do. I do consume dairy. I do consume eggs. So I do that, and that's really all I need to buy really at a supermarket. Once I start getting to the boxes, the frozen shit, all that stuff, I call when it has a lot of ites and eights. So anything that ends with eight, like polysorbate or benzoate or any of that shit, anything that ends like that, eight, I stay away from that. Same as ites, I stay away from ites. Anything that ends in the ite, and I do have them seldom, I would say, but most of my food is I cook myself, and I have nothing against like pre-cooked meals or anything like that. I just prefer to cook the food myself. I think it tastes better. I have a better relationship with it. I know what goes in it, and I like cooking. It's almost like a meditation. But yeah, that's really what I did as far as my nutrition goes. And I've done all the nutritions. Like, I've done them all. I've done. I was vegan for a little bit. I was this, I was that, vegetarian. I haven't done carnivore. I consistently consumed plant stuff. And now, like overall, like I said, it's produce and perimeter. And that's it, really. But as far as like healthcare goes, yeah, no, and this is just like my opinion. I'm not promoting any lifestyle or anything like that right now or anything, but I think just the whole healthcare system is messed up. There's just so much information, but whenever I went to a physician, rarely discussed nutrition, rarely discussed how much I move, rarely discussed resistance training, rarely discussed fasting. Like, I was actually told by a physician that you should never fast, and I'm like, this is how we evolved. We survived. The people who weren't able to survive from fasts died off in famines. I mean, it's a natural state. Now there's all this information coming out and everything. about fasting, how good it is for you, and also like fasting helps prolong longevity and all this stuff. And here's, a doctor who's got 20, 30, whatever years of experience telling me that you should never do any fasting of any kind. It's not good for you. And I'm just like, wow, yeah, I need to stop going to this doctor. But the whole healthcare system is how it's set up with, big food and all that, and all the chemicals, and how everything's ultra processed, and how it spikes your insulin and all that, right? It's not that it's poison. However, the cumulative effect on health, I think, is toxic, especially once you start eating out, fast food, restaurants, all that. The majority of people, right? Now, this is from studies. I don't know the exact studies, but I actually did a project on this. It was one of my projects in school when I finished my MBA. Majority of the people eat like crap. They eat a lot of ultra processed food, a lot of carbs. They stay away from fat because fat is bad, which it really isn't. And all this stuff, it just accumulates. Like the negative effect accumulates, and before you know it, most adults, I just looked this up on Statista, 2 out of 3 adults are on prescription meds for whatever they're for. But I think the most popular is hypertensive, so blood pressure. That's related with having too much body fat, obesity, whatever you want to call it. I don't like to label it, so I just like to say, you're storing too much energy. You're storing too much energy as fat, and so much energy is toxic. Chronic inflammation, and it's just not good for you. And I know I still have, a lot of body fat to decrease. But anyway, all this stuff, like the food and all this crap that people are eating and consuming, and and the snacks and everything, it just accumulating in the body, and eventually, like myself, I was one of the people. So anything I say about people, I'm saying about me, because I was one of them. Boom, I'm in my late 20s, early 30s. I gotta go on blood pressure medicine, and then and the doctor even told me, once I put you on this, I'm most likely gonna increase the dose. And he also said, I'm not going to put you on a water pill, because that's like the first thing, because I know I'm going to have to give you this medication anyway, so I'm just going to put you on the medication. So he skipped the water pill, went to the medication, right? But yeah, so all this stuff that adds up, the food and everything, it's the long-term effect. Standard American diet, it's toxic and it's sad, right? Standard American diet. And then moving on, like I said, the prescription pills and taking all those pills, and it's not health. It's really not health. It's really just symptom management, and that's what I don't know. I was like, this doctor really wasn't trying to get rid of my high blood pressure. He was trying to give me a pill to lower it, but he knew that he's going to have to give me stronger pills in the future, because he told me. So, that's not really healthcare. So, yeah, that's really what I want to talk about, is that, a lot of our healthcare problems, 66% of adults on prescription meds, it stems from lifestyle, which is nutrition, right? Training or lack thereof. So any activity, movement, or lack thereof, movement's medicine, and also rest and recovery, which is sleep. I've noticed it's a badge of honor for people to, oh, and you got 5 hours of sleep, oh, and you got 6 hours of sleep, oh, and you got 4 hours of sleep, doing all this grinding, all that stuff. That was me as well, until I realized, like, sleep is like, if not the most important things we do, bodily functions, sleep is the most important, if not one. It's extremely important, if not the most important thing we do, is sleep. And yeah, all these things add up, and then people end up on prescription meds, and then that's not health. That's kind of just managing the symptoms, and it's just not good. So as far as like my nutrition, I already mentioned it. I'm actually off the blood pressure meds, and my blood pressure is pretty good now. My triglycerides were through the fucking roof, like all over the place. I think they were like 450. It's supposed to be 150. Last time I had a check, they were, I think, 117. So my cholesterol's down. And I still have body fat. I still have a lot of body fat to decrease, but all of, like, the biometric measurables, the big ones, cholesterol, blood pressure, triglycerides, all my are in healthy range. The only thing that's not in healthy range is weight, but I don't even weigh myself, really. So that really doesn't matter. All I know is I'm decreasing body fat. I'm looking at myself. My clothes are getting bigger. I'm down to an XL from a 4X. I'm down to a 40-inch from a 56-inch. So I'm really happy about that. And just strength training, movement, Produce and perimeter nutrition, getting a lot of sleep, and that's really what I do. And I'm really hyped up because I just finished training. My body's all pumped, so I guess that's why I'm talking this fast. But this is some WOWFit wisdom. Take care of your body, because taking prescription meds, worshiping doctors, all that, that's not taking care of your body. Now, for me personally, that's not taking care of my body, and it's not really health care. It's really just symptom management care, and it's a big business, and it's really just making sure that people can go to work, pay taxes, get their prescriptions, and consume the worst fucking diet I think in human history. So that's it. Take care. Bye.